Hi. I'm engrossed these days by a book that I've been reading called The Accidental President, a biography of Chester A. Arthur, the 21st President of the United States, written by Scott Greenberger. It's a great read, and it's a fascinating story. Arthur was one of the most corrupt politicians in the United States. He ran the Port of New York, and the Port of New York did not give him a salary. It gave him a commission on all of the imports into the United States. And the more he charged, the more he made. And he had this whole system that was famously corrupt. In fact, one of the prizes of winning the presidency was you could appoint the collector of the Port of New York, and he could make a vast amount of money and fuel your political machine in New York. That's how politics worked in the years immediately after the Civil War. And the prime practitioner of this, it's called spoils, was Chester Arthur. Spoils is from the Andrew Jackson administration when he said, "To the victor belongs the spoils." And this institution of patronage had become so fundamental in American politics that basically the parties didn't much care about ideology or anything. They were just after winning the spoils. Nothing was greater than the Port of New York. So in the Republican Convention of 1880, there was tremendous dissatisfaction with the scandals of the Grant administration. Grant had left office in 1877, and Hayes, his successor, while not really corrupt, didn't do much to improve the administration. And Grant wanted to run for a third term in 1880. And the reformers in the Republican Party were desperate to keep him out of office because, perhaps wrongly, they saw him as bringing back the spoils system and corruption. So they put up their own candidate, James A. Garfield, who ultimately prevailed as a compromise nominee and became the Republican candidate for president. And as a sop to the spoils people, so there wouldn't be spoil sports, he put Chester A. Arthur on his ticket for vice president. But a few months into Garfield's term, he was assassinated, and Arthur became president of the United States. And everybody pulled their hair out and said, "Oh my God, this guy is the epicenter of corruption, and now he's the president? You got to be kidding me." And Arthur was shocked by Garfield's assassination by a frustrated office seeker, and saw how patronage was completely taking over the American system and subverting American democracy in fundamental ways. And his wife helped him see that. And this book is really the story of his personal evolution as president to turn around from the purveyor of corruption to the crusader for reform, who passed the first Civil Service Act in the United States, awarding posts like collector of the Port of New York based on competitive examination, not on political favoritism. It's a story of great personal redemption and a fascinating historical read. Arthur was president from 1881 to 1885.